Hey guys, welcome to the channel. How is it going? So today we are going to talk about the story of web novel chapter 206. So without wasting time, let's begin the video. DAGRUEL's army had shown its perfect appearance. Chain of Restraint Titan Army, total number 100.000. There were giant ogres and cyclops. Even big shots like some hekatonkyres of the Titan races. Various types of giants were approaching in crowds. Adalman stood on the back of the death dragon, Wenti, as he glared at the ground. Wenti, who was soaring high in the sky with her original appearance, that of a wicked dragon, was scattering around an ominous aura. Famu, with a nod, Adalman began thinking. Against DAGRUEL's army, which already invaded and trespassed the national borders, even warning is meaningless. If that's the case, he decided that it might be okay for him to cast a very flashy extreme magic as the sign of the start of the war. Adalman begins to chant the incantation. Though he can use it without chanting, he lengthily chants it because of old habits and spiritual build-up. However, this incantation of his, he thought that chanting it properly is better than going the easy route. The reason why is, it can't be used inside the labyrinth, or rather, it was unusable due to him lacking the magic power. While he was alive he had the knowledge. But this is the first time he's decided to use the magic for real. If it's for a flashy magic, then it will be good. Such was his idea. Trying not to be too eager, chanting the incantation for the first time in his life, he looks at the ground and determines the sphere of influence of the magic. He didn't care whether it will activate or not. According to the ancient documents, it's an extreme magic that needs several archmages to activate it. It'd be funny if he couldn't invoke the magic. Fortunately there's no witnesses here. So, he will just cast a different magic at that time. Well, now, this magic will become the signal for the start of the war. Please succeed. While Adalman prayed so, the perfect magic mastery effect of the ultimate gift Necromicon is activated. Adalman's knowledge is being corrected by Seeker of Truth, and words are engraved into his mind. It seems that if he succeed in chanting the spell in the first time, he will be able to invoke the magic immediately for the second time. Ah, I see. In this case, I understand that chanting the incantation is not necessary. Filled with a pleasant feeling of fulfillment, Adalman understood his ability. And then? Well then, you better experience this properly in ancient extreme magic, Tempest Meteor. In an instant, glittering dazzling lights pours down from the magic formation that appeared suddenly in the sky. It's as beautiful as the wonder of a starry night. However, it's a dreadful light that brings forth death and destruction. With the correction of ultimate gift Necromicon, he had shown this world the perfected result. The best that the past archmages able to summon were just several meteorites. Even so, it was a grand magic of strategic class, showing a great effect as anti-army magic, but the number of meteorites summoned by the magic that Adalman invoked exceeds 1.000. The ground is rained down by meteorites with diameter of 50 centimeters 1 meter, spreading death to DAGRUEL's troops. Even if the giants are known for their superior regeneration power, there's no meaning if they received damage they can't regenerate. The limbs that tried to catch the meteorite are blown off, and their heads are crushed. The giant race who intended to invade with their huge power is at their wits' end, as they weren't even able to escape. The extreme magic that Adalman cast showed more effect than he had intended. Only by one magic, nearly 1/3 of DAGRUEL's army became unable to fight. Look, Gadra. As I expected, my magic is wonderful, right? Surprised by the result having more effect than expected, Adalman boasts it to his companion Gadra, like it's natural. Because his bone face doesn't have an expression, he's safe knowing that his true feelings weren't exposed. It was not amusing for Gadra, who came to this war against his will, but he can't help admitting the power of Adalman's extreme magic. For Gadra Raushi, who is a newcomer, he wanted to attain some achievement. You see, since he earned his affiliation with Demon Lord Rimuru only by deserting the Empire, it was painful, not being useful at all. This war was a competition for the hegemony of this world. He thought, if he couldn't be useful now, he'd end up being useless throughout in his career history. Humph. Shut up. I will show you the real extreme magic. It's just that, because my magic power is not enough, could I have you cooperate with me? Gadra, with Adalman's cooperation, commencing the chant of the incantation while harboring an indescribable feeling. Gadra receives the aid of ultimate gift Grimoire and understand the principle of the incantation as well as Adalman. Indeed, this is really wonderful. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough energy even with my magic power, Gadra regrets that he's unable to use the magic just with his own power, but it can't be helped and he come to a clear decision. He had reincarnated repeatedly and was proud of his enormous amounts of energy, far more than most people, but compared with the high ranking of Tempest, he is just an insignificant person. There are frustrated feelings of being defeated by Adalman who once was his rival, but he understands that being prideful is useless, so he chooses the strongest magic in his knowledge and begins to chant it. Then, with the highest level of darkness magic he's most skillful in, let's show it in this place. Gadra thought so. And O thou who suffers in everlasting starvation, heed my call. Nihilistic hazard. The strongest of divine magic is the ultimate anti-personnel destruction magic disintegration, which is well known. It's known that there are a few people who can use it, but its high power is guaranteed. It's said that person who receives a direct hit and can survive doesn't exist. However, if there's weakness of this magic, it might be that it's a single target magic. The attack range is extremely short. It was a natural reason why the magic has a high power, but against an army it was a useless magic. Because he's well informed about this matter, it might be why Adalman used the strongest spell in summoning magic, and what Gadra chose was the opposite of disintegration, the strongest large-scale annihilation spell of darkness magic. A very large magic formation emerges on the ground and the sky. And, like connecting the sky and the ground, dark electric discharge begun to appear and innumerable spheres of electricity were released. The fang of darkness that swallows all substances. It's darkness magic that brings void to this world and is considered as one of the forbidden spells. The void let loose in the world doesn't vanish until its negative energy turns null. Everyone inside the barrier of the magic formation that links the ground and the sky is devoured and their existence is erased. It was one of the ultimate magics that was feared, as a mistake in its control can bring destruction to the world. Wahahahaha. How's that? Amazing, right? You fool. What are you thinking? If I didn't help you, you would absolutely fail to control it, you know. That might be right, but I want to be in the spotlight too. That's not an excuse to use such dangerous magic. Adalman is stunned. Certainly, as this world might be destroyed if Gadra fails his control of the magic, Gadra can't make any excuse. He was confident in his control, but he almost loses his consciousness as he didn't have enough energy. Well, it's all good, right? It's a success. Gadra, who's not reflecting, could be called as a degenerate mad genius. Adalman letting out a given-up sigh as he recalled the thing. It would be useless even if he says anything anyway. In fact, there's no problem since he succeeded. Besides, they seemed to succeed in greatly reducing the number of the enemy's army with too extreme magic. As the giant race could be said as a lump of energy, they seem not to be totally annihilated as they can counter the minus energy. But still, when compared to their original number, the number had already decreased by a half. Normally in such situation people would give up the war and withdraw. Then what will be their choice? With that thought, Adalman's group would breathlessly witness it with their eyes. The giants continue their attack without minding the death of their comrades. Those who avoided instant death, regenerated from their damage with their transcendence regeneration like it was nothing. They didn't show any behavior indicating that they mind about their decrease in number. Their appearance is very eerie and aroused fear to those who opposed them. Adalman and co got fed up after seeing the attitude of DAGRUEL's army. Good grief. Do those people didn't feel fear? Not at all, I guess. Usually when thinking about countermeasures, they should have pulled back immediately. Looking at each other's face, the two nod in agreement of each other's thoughts. Should we fall back? Yeah. We used too much magic power. Let's withdraw. However, I'm glad that my core is the Immortal Legion, which don't fear death. The giant race army, which thought nothing of death, they're more difficult than a mere death soldier, completely. But, it's good that we can reduce their number here. They're still a threat even with such number, but they would be defeated if the clash begins as they didn't know anything. He comes back quickly as he need to report the threat of DAGRUEL's army. Their fearsome points were their immovable mind and their super regeneration. Even though it's possible to revive the Immortal Legion, it would be of course impossible if they were crushed into small pieces. He has the premonition that the giants with their overwhelming destructive power will trample on the Immortal Legion. Oh well, that's fine. Anyway, Adalman think that it's good as long as they're able to decrease the number of the giants. Adalman returned to the camp while thinking about what would happen later. The total number of Chain of Restraint Titan army was approximately 100.000. For his army to be reduced by about 50,000 before the clash with the enemy main force, even for DAGRUEL, it was a miscalculation for him. However, he didn't feel the loss at all. That is because the people killed by the magic had little strength and have no luck. It's true that it was a splendid magic. But, falling back due to what can be assumed as anti-group magic is something that a soldier couldn't do. In fact, the steps of the true main force of the people he trusted will not be hindered by anyone. The magic a while ago was certainly splendid. Probably it's the work of that ghost king named Adalman who visited him to construct the transfer magic formation before. As expected, he has a superb ability. And also his magician friend who looks like a wise man. It wouldn't be strange if the second magic is his work. They're a wonderful people. As an enemy, they make his heart excited. It just unfortunately, DAGRUEL can't be defeated by magic. Because, as a true giant he has the absolute ability called Magic Nullity. By activating the anti-magic guard, absolute magic defense, it will automatically neutralize all magic attacks. Therefore, people who killed by the current magic are weak in an existence which can to be thrown away. Suddenly, he thinks about his sons, Degura, Ryura, and Debura, those three. They're going to fight against him, but what kind of fight they will show to him? Everyone around Dino said that handing over the throne to those sons are fine, though he ignored it. It must be the work of that crafty guy. Anyway, he let him corrupt his sons, and it might be a compliment that he thought to add them as his subordinates. Or possibly, his aim might be actually was to deprave DAGRUEL and making him retire after foreseeing this current situation. By depraving and making DAGRUEL retire, is it possible to escape from Feldenava's rule? Am I thinking into it too much? So DAGRUEL denied the thought. That good-natured friend of his is also affiliated with Velda. That's right, we too can't go against Velda's order. Because it's absolutely impossible to go against their creator master. But, in case of his sons, they're released from that curse. That's right, I wish for my sons to live freely. Even so, DAGRUEL won't hold back if they stand in front of him as an enemy. They should be stronger. At least, they could last for a bit against me. DAGRUEL has no hesitation. He only accomplishes his mission. Simple and frank, as he was a soldier. And so the power of the giants sweep over this battlefield. So guys, this was all for today's video. Thanks for watching.